The Birchbury Bramford. I'll tell you why it's the favorite. It's got a couple great unique features and it's a pretty high quality shoe, but I'm going to tell you why it's good, what I hate about most casual leather sneakers, and why this one's good and how it can save you some money and effort in the future, especially if you have foot pain. That's why you're watching this channel. So a lot of casual shoes, they're pointy in the front. And what happens is that squeezes on your toes. That can create some bunion pain, some hammer toe pain. And number two, there's generally minimalist shoe type stuff. And what happens is it's too flexible. It doesn't have a lot of support. The heel's not very supportive. You want some good features in your shoe that support it, but at the same time, you want that freedom to have your toes moving around. So a couple basic features I look for in a shoe are it basically needs some support. See how this casual shoe does not support you at all? See how the back's not supporting you? In the Birchbury shoe, stiff back, see how it's pretty stiff? It doesn't twist too much. So when I grab it, I'm really trying to twist, and see how it doesn't bend in the middle. And what happens is when you land, see it bends just at the big toe. Whereas in another casual shoe, see how it bends in the middle? And I know I'm being kind of hard on this guy, but Oxford dress shoes, for example, have a heel lift. This has no heel lift. The heel sits at the same level as the toes. It's not driving the pressure into your toes. Most casual dress shoes or dressy shoes have a pointy front. See how it creates a V? These guys right here, it's more of a curved one. And I'm going to show you in a graphic why that's not crushing your toes. So two factors crush your toes: the pointy front, plus when your foot twists out, your foot gets wider and flattens more. So this one, because it doesn't bend and it's got the stiff heel, your foot doesn't flatten out as much and the toes don't spread out as much, and it's not crushed by the V point in the front at the same time. So those two factors really help your toes during a long day, when you're walking, when you're at a nice dinner, when you're at a nice meeting. I'm not a huge material guy, but it is a leather shoe. It's pretty nice. Personally, see these insoles right here? They brag about them on the website a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the insoles. Are these anything special? They're a little bit nice. They got a little bit cushion. But what happens is, here's why I really like these shoes. Right here, an over-the-counter insert. If I can get an over-the-counter insert into a shoe and it can relatively fit in there because the toes aren't pointy, then you can fit a nice over-the-counter insert. And my favorites are down in the show notes. But for my money, if you can get an insert that's pretty low cost and put it in a dress shoe, there's no reason you can't stand all day with relatively little pain. Whereas if I stood in a shoe like this would absolutely obliterate my foot in like half an hour. So you have all the factors you need in a shoe: the stiff heel, the flexibility, the lack of crush up here. You can fit an orthotic in there, and that's gonna really take a lot of pressure off your foot. So one thing I always say is, if there's no orthotic, look at how the foot flattens out. And we know in the other shoe, it already crushes in the middle. Whereas in an orthotic, now granted, I'm giving the shoe too much credit, but the fact that it fits an orthotic is huge. See how it's not flattening out there? That is huge for me. That is a #1 criteria for me when getting a casual or a dress shoe. The next thing I really like is check out the laces right here. Self-lacing, plus you can pull the tongue out, it comes down. Easy to slip on, especially if you're an older person. If you need to use a shoehorn, it's already taken care of. Another nice feature. What does zero drop mean? This is not a zero drop. See how much lift you have here? And then up here, it's a little bit less. Most normal running shoes are like an 8 to 12 millimeter lift in the heel compared to the front. That takes a little bit of pressure off the heel. These guys kind of go with the barefoot element because it's equal at the back and as the front. Generally, younger people tolerate that well. If you're older, like 60, 50, 70, I know that's not the usual YouTube crowd, but you generally want to get a little bit more of a heel lift. Whereas if you're younger, go with a zero drop, unless you have like Achilles tendonitis or something like that, because that will keep you flexible. That will keep your muscles working. The whole debate of barefoot shoe versus non-barefoot shoe, I can talk about that all day. And in fact, we have a video right here to talk about it. There's a lot of factors. Generally, if you're younger and healthier, go with more of a barefoot. If you're older and have more problems in your knees, your hips, and other places, go with something with a little bit more of a heel lift, a little bit more cushion, a little bit more support. That's a general rule that I see work well. As much as I'm raving about these, This is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid to do this. But I like this because it has a lot of room in the toes. It's not pointy. It's stiff through the midsole. It's stiff through the heel. It's easy to get on. It has 0 heel drop, which is good for younger people. And it fits an orthotic. So I'm not a huge fan of these, even though they brag about them on their website. I get another over-the-counter insert or my custom insert in here. Not a lot of dress shoes can fit the custom insert, so that's why I love these. If you do have a dress shoe, like an Oxford tennis shoe, you know, some people have to use a shoe stretcher. I go over a video how to use a shoe stretcher, but see, this guy doesn't need that. It's already done for you. There's room in the toes. So here, there's a link in the bottom. These are called the Birchbury Bramfords. You know, they kind of range $100 to $150 depending on what time you get them. But check out the link down below and see if you agree. They give a 30-day refund policy, so if you don't like them. Hey, guess what? We have a phenomenal book. I believe this is the premier book on chronic nerve pain and peripheral neuropathy pain on the planet. I've put years of work seeing tens of thousands of peripheral neuropathy patients, working with some of the best diabetic endocrinologists, the best doctors, the best neurologists, in building out this book. For you, my viewers, we have a discount code available. Get on our mailing list and get that book down here. Guys, thank you so much for watching our video on perineal tendinitis. Give us a like. Tell us how you injured yours. It really helps in the YouTube algorithm. We need your help.